Hi Scorpio, welcome to your love reading for the week of November 26th through December 9th. For the month of December, I am doing bi-weekly love readings. This is probably just going to be for the month of December. I'm considering switching to bi-weekly readings, but I'm not sure. I guess we will just see how it goes. Okay, so I'm basically going to do the same thing I've been doing for the monthlies, but I'm also going to pull one card from the Enchanted Map at the end of the reading, and then I will leave you with one card from the Whispers of Love. So let's go ahead and start the reading. Everything with the tarot reading is exactly the same as the monthlies. So let's get 9 cards from this deck for you. This is a love reading for the sign of Scorpio for the weeks of November 26th to December 9th. The first card you have, Scorpio, is the Three of Wands. Love reading for the sign of Scorpio, November 26th to December 9th. Nine of Swords. Six of Swords. Love reading for the sign of Scorpio for November 26th to December 9th. Ace of Pentacles. Love reading for the sign of Scorpio, November 26th to December 9th. The Moon. The Knight of Wands. Love reading for the sign of Scorpio, November 26th to December 9th. Three of Cups. Three of Pentacles. And Knight of Swords. So another thing I'm doing different now is that the main energy, I'm just going to pull it out of the deck. I'm just focusing what is the most important message that the sign of Scorpio needs to hear for November 26th to December 9th. What is the most important message, most important energy around them? The Four of Swords. So this has been a popular card with the other signs. This tells me that in the month of, the week of November 26th to December 9th, it is a time for some of you to heal. This can be healing from a past relationship, from a disappointment, but it might also be some time where you need to take a step back from your love life to just kind of figure things out, or it could be your partner that is asking you to give them that space. We will come back to this to see how it ties in with the rest of the reading, but first let's start with the top row. So on the top row you have the Three of Wands, the Nine of Swords, the Six of Swords. So I feel like somebody has been struggling. I feel like you've been struggling, kind of waiting to see how something happens, to see how things turn out, because you have the Three of Wands, which is much, this is like you waiting. This is you waiting for something to manifest. This is a future-oriented card, waiting for that perfect chance. Maybe, waiting for that perfect opportunity to develop, a relationship with someone, or waiting for that perfect opportunity for a relationship to move to the next level. There is that energy of waiting with the Three of Wands. And I feel like this has been very stressful on you, kind of waiting. You've been on pins and needles waiting to see, is this going to pan out? Am I going to be in a relationship with this person? Are they going to take me back? Is this person ever going to notice me? With the Nine of Swords, this is just a lot of things going on in your head, and a lot of worry, a lot of anxiety. And I feel like you're moving past that because you have the Six of Swords. So for some of you where you have been just kind of waiting in agony to see if something actually happens in your love life, I feel like you're finally seeing some movement with the Six of Swords. This means that you're moving away from that difficult energy of the Nine of Swords. The Six of Swords means moving away from challenging people or just kind of really difficult times. So I also get that for some of you where you've been really kind of waiting for a relationship to get better, or a marriage to work out, where things have been really difficult and you've been really kind of fearing the worst with the Nine of Swords, that you're seeing some type of positive improvement with the Six of Swords. You're finally moving into a much healthier energy. Remember that the main energy is a Four of Swords, which means that this is a time of healing for you. Okay, so you have the middle row here, and you have the Ace of Pentacles, the Moon, and the Knight of Wands. So, once again, there's this energy of the unknown. The Moon is a major arcana, so it really stands out. With the Moon, you only know half the truth. There are things that are hidden from you. There are things you don't understand. This also is a very confusing energy. There can also be deceit or self-deceit. It's just kind of, it really kind of stands out. It's kind of, you know, you're in the dark. And I feel, you know, for some of you, you may have been in the dark, because that's just a really strong message that I'm getting for Scorpio. I feel like you have not known the full story. I feel like this is a general reading, so it's hard to say exactly how this applies to everyone, but I do feel like for some of you, like you've been in the dark about something. I mean, with that Three of Wands, that definitely ties in. For some of you, you may have not known, you know, what your partner may have been, going back to the main energy, telling you that they need some space and some time, and you didn't know which way they were going to go, or if they were going to return or not, or you didn't know if someone was going to notice you. The moon is just kind of being in the dark, not knowing. And I feel like, again, there is like positive energy around this. Where you have been confused and lost, or just kind of lying to yourself, there is positive change. You have the Ace of Pentacles, which means that there's a new beginning in your love life. There is a new beginning in a relationship where there has been a big question mark over it, where you've not really known how it was going to turn out, or if it was even going to continue. The Ace of Pentacles means that there's a, you know, this is a very lucky energy, kind of like the Wheel of Fortune. I always feel like they're a similar energy. The Ace of Pentacles means that there's something coming in that is like a blessing for your relationship or your marriage, where you have kind of been in the dark and you have not known the full story. You've not really known where you stand. And again, with the Knight of Wands on the other side, this is, again, your love life, you know, it's really kind of picking up. And it can even be for singles that, you know, you've kind of been in the dark, not really knowing if you're going to meet anybody, not really knowing where you stand, what the future brings, and there is a type of new beginning. The Knight of Wands just means that you're also feeling really optimistic about your love life. So I feel like, you know, this is a total opposite of the Nine of Swords at the top, where you have been kind of really agonizing and totally stressed out about your love life in some way. So suddenly things are looking up, like you're moving, like something happens where you're moving in a positive direction, and you're suddenly feeling really optimistic with the Knight of Wands. You're feeling like, you know, you're gonna get what you want. This is kind of like a go-getter energy with the Knight of Wands. This is relentless. Like, you're going to pursue your goal, and your goal is obviously a partner. Maybe you're just feeling really inspired. Like, you know, this is going to be the time where you're going to find that life partner. Or this is a time where you're really going to have that relationship that you want with a specific person. There is some type of blessing with the Ace of Pentacles. Now, on the bottom row here, you have the Three of Cups, the Three of Pentacles, the Knight of Swords. So, I mean, the Three of Pentacles, this is someone that is really trying. So this leads me right back to the Knight of Wands, where I felt like, you know, somebody's just really determined, relentless to get what they want. That's the energy of the Three of Pentacles. So this tells me that, you know, during these 2 weeks of November 26th to December 9th, you are focused, tunnel vision on your love life, or someone very specific, maybe just your marriage or your relationship. And I feel like any effort you put in towards your love life, like, this pays off. Not only do you have the Three of Cups, this is you celebrating something. This could be that you're celebrating that someone finally notices you, or you're celebrating that somebody chose you, or maybe you're just celebrating that somebody came back to you, because the main energy was the Four of Swords, which usually comes up when somebody needs space and time. So it's like you try really hard with the Three of Pentacles, and then there is, you know, a celebration with the Three of Cups. There's just happiness, there's laughter. And the Knight of Swords, this tells me, you know, that there's a lot of things happening around your love life, or your marriage, your relationship, whatever it is that's going on with you. The Knight of Swords just means that there's a lot of new developments, a lot of things coming up. You could be feeling really impulsive, or your partner might be feeling really impulsive. I just feel like there's a lot of changes, and I feel like you're somehow, like, you're finally learning the truth, and you're finally getting out of this energy where you're on pins and needles and not really knowing what's going on in your marriage or in your relationship. Like, you're finally understanding something. Okay, so let's get some more cards from the same deck. I'm going to get another 3. What other messages are there for the sign of Scorpio for November 26th to December 9th? You have the World. What other messages are there for the sign of Scorpio? The Emperor. And the Eight of Pentacles. I'm going to put it right here so you can see it. So the World, the Emperor, the Eight of Pentacles. So this is a time to bring closure. This is a time, it could be, you know, for those of you who are healing from a past relationship, But I also get it's time to finally turn the page, especially if you've really kind of been stuck in a rut in a specific relationship where like it's not been progressing, there's not been any movement. There's finally movement with the world. This is, you know, things finally changing. You're finally closing a chapter on, you know, a relationship. Maybe not necessarily because you're moving on, but because you've already gone through that difficult cycle, or the cycle of confusion where someone doesn't know if they want to commit to you, or maybe you don't know, or a cycle where there's been other people in the picture. The world just means this is a victory. It's a victory for you, because I kind of get the feeling from this reading that you're going out of your way to make something happen. Like you are determined to either get someone, or you're like you want to get a proposal. You've been stressed, but it's like you're finally taking action. And with the world, like you're putting an end to something. You could be putting an end to your misery. Like you're no longer going to be waiting for someone, because I mean you did start off with the Three of Wands, which is waiting. You're making something happen. And with the Emperor, this is you totally in your power. This is you taking control of your love life. Totally taking control. This is a card of you feeling really empowered. So you know, this really ties in with the Knight of Wands, which is right under the Eight of Pentacles. You are finally kind of feeling like, you know, I'm going to make my love life what I want it to be. That's the energy of the Emperor. You're feeling powerful, and feeling in control, and you're bringing an end to all the things that have been troubling you. The Eight of Pentacles is saying that, you know, that there's a lot of work to do here, but I really feel like if you have been struggling and where things, you know, you've been in the dark and you've been agonizing, and you feel like you have to move in a different direction as a couple, or something has to change in a marriage, I feel like you are the one that is making things happen. Like you are the one that's bringing you and your partner together. You are the one that's kind of, you know, helping this healing take place. Or maybe you're the one that's kind of, you know, helping to draw a partner back into your life. I just kind of get the feeling from this reading that you're feeling really empowered, and that you will have no more of this, the Nine of Wands. No more agony, no more misery, no longer in the dark. I see new beginnings around you, and I see you feeling really passionate. I mean, the Knight of Wands next to the Emperor, it's like you feel this is like your time. You're totally empowered when it comes to your love life. You're totally empowered, and I feel like you're trying to bring an end to a difficult cycle, but it is going to require a lot of work. But you do have, you know, this message from the Three of Cups down here. Let me just move the camera. The Three of Cups telling you that any effort that you put in, which is right here, leads to happiness and celebration. A lot of things happening and changing in your love life here with the Knight of Swords. Okay, so let's get some more confirmation from the second deck. What other messages are there for the sign of Scorpio from November 26th through December 9th? The Nine of Wands, November 26th to December 9th for Scorpio. You have the Seven of Pentacles and the Chariot. Okay, so I'll put it here so you can see it. And again, I'm going to kind of pull the main energy. What's the most important message that Scorpio needs to hear for November 26th to December 9th from this deck? The Six of Swords. So this is a repeating card because you already have that message over here. So again, these 2 weeks, November 26th to December 9th, this is a time to move away from the difficulty. Whatever difficulty you're having, whether it's difficulty in a marriage, in a relationship, in meeting someone, this is a time where you can leave your challenges behind you. It's time for you to move into a much calmer, loving energy when it comes to your love life. So keep that in mind. This also just represents movement. Movement in your love life. You do have two knights in this reading right here. You have the Knight of Wands, and you also have the Knight of Swords. This is movement. And you also have the Chariot, which represents movement. Something's moving in your love life. They also represent movement. So for some of you, there can even be travel to see someone. Maybe someone that, you know, that you met online, or someone that moved away. I see movement here. Now, these three cards right here, the Nine of Wands, the Seven of Pentacles, the Chariot. You know, I sense here with these three cards that somebody's been holding back, because you have the Nine of Wands. This is someone that is like kind of keeping things to themselves, keeping things bottled up, because they don't want to be hurt. They're not doing it to hurt you. They're not doing it to be difficult. They're doing it because they don't want to be hurt. And this could have been, you know, someone that has been holding back. Just kind of going back to the main energy from the first deck. Somebody that asked for some space. Somebody that needed time to figure things out. That definitely ties in with the Nine of Wands. This is someone protecting themselves. And then you have the Seven of Pentacles, which means that someone's been doing a lot of thinking about you. Somebody's been kind of figuring out, like, you know, should I return to them? Should I stay in this marriage? This is weighing their options, weighing the pros and cons. This leads to victory because you have the Chariot. This is a victory card. It also represents a huge development, big movement in your love life. And I feel like for some of you, you're progressing either from, like, you know, dating to a more committed relationship, exclusive, or you're moving towards marriage, or you're starting a family. This is just, you know, significant movement in your love life. And this has been a huge persistent message in this entire reading. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pull one card from the Enchanted Map. And we'll see how this ties in with everything that I have pulled for you. So let me just shuffle the deck, focusing on your energy. What messages are there for the sign of Scorpio for November 26th to December 9th? What messages are there for the sign of Scorpio for November 26th to December 9th? Messages for the sign of Scorpio for November 26th to December 9th. You had a card jump over here. Or got a card that jump, and it is, let's see, you have Deep Freeze. So just kind of seeing this card reminds me of the main energy, the Four of Swords, because this is kind of like non-action. So I feel like, you know, for some of you here, you're dealing with a situation where there's been, you know, a relationship has been frozen, and it could be because somebody needed, you know, some space and some time. Maybe somebody moved out. And again, you have all these messages throughout this reading of movement. I mean, you have the two Knights, and then you have the Chariot, and then the Six of Swords is a repeating card from both decks, and then I pull Deep Freeze. So I feel like a relationship has kind of been frozen. It's like it's not been moving. There's been no movement. Either you've just been dating, and never moving to a higher level, or things not working out in a marriage, and just kind of you've been in a deep freeze, in a negative cycle. But I also feel like this card can also be that somebody is warming up to you. And I mean, you do have the Nine of Wands up there, which means that somebody's been holding back, and that's the feeling that I got. Somebody's been thinking about you and kind of weighing their options, you know, like, should I or shouldn't I? And with the Deep Freeze card, this could be that somebody is, you know, has kind of not been wearing, you know, their heart on their sleeve, like I said, but they're finally warming up to you. So even though, I mean, the Deep Freeze card came out, I feel like this is what you're coming out of, because you have so many cards in this reading, so many about movement. So I feel like you're finally coming out of this Deep Freeze, whatever that means to you. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to move on to the Whispers of Love and see what it wants to tell you. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull one card, and then I'm going to read from the book, and I want you to use your intuition about how this applies to you. Okay, what message is there for the sign of Scorpio for November 26th to December 9th? What message is there for the sign of Scorpio for November 26th to December 9th? Message for the sign of Scorpio. Okay, so let me just reach in here. What's the most important message that the sign of Scorpio needs to hear from November 26th to December 9th? If you'll draw on this way. So this is your card, and it says miracles and blessings, and it says everything has its gift. Okay, so I'm going to put it there, and this is card number 13, I think. I had trouble seeing that small number there. 13. So let me just look it up in the book for you. Okay. Again, use your intuition about how this applies to you. You drew this card because you have many miracles happening in your life right now. The angels are asking you to look at how things are. Look again. You will find that your life has been filled with many miracles and blessings. Okay, Scorpio, this has been your weekly love reading. Hope you enjoyed it, and I will speak to you again soon.